Yeah, man, you already know I ain't going for none of that. Everybody try to tell us that we can't run the ball and all of this, and I mean, we just didn't run the ball in the beginning of the season. Listen, look at this, man. Between the first meeting, you know what I'm saying? Philadelphia Eagles hosted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This in the second half. I think Miles might have had 7 carries at this point. Mind you, Lane Johnson is not even in this game, and I think this is the game we shifted Mailata to an inside position and had Diller starting. And look how we moving the pile, man. Jeff Stoutland, man, is just look how we just moving dudes out of the way. And we only ran out of a shotgun formation around this point in the season. You know what I mean? We just realizing that this could work for us at this point. Now we a full-fledged engine, ready to put this running game up against these guys, man. We got all our pieces in place to be able to pull off this upset. I'm telling y'all, man, this offensive line is a major key. Howie Roseman did what he was supposed to do by keeping this group together. You know what I mean? That and the defensive line. But this offensive line has set a new franchise record. You mean to tell me that Mailata and Landon Dickerson aren't two acquisitions? We got everything we need is at our fingertips to be able to run the ball down these dudes' throat. Jalen Hurts has developed as a passer. Everything has been looking different for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm starting to love this matchup more and more as game time approaches. But this should be a direct inclination. This should be able to show you that if we commit to a game plan, look, they got to set the edge. Look, they got to set the edge because he is the main reason that the run game is so effective. You got to overcommit and set the edge, and he could cut it up and take that. 10 rushing touchdowns broke Vic record. We are on the brink, ladies and gentlemen, of a new identity of football in Philadelphia. We are on the brink, ladies and gentlemen, of understanding that winning could look different. And we about to prove it.
Next question.
Yeah. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, before we get into the meat and potatoes, of course I gotta let you know this video was brought to you by Manscape. Big Manscape in the building, bringing you them Lawnmower 4.0s, Lawnmower 3.0s, anything you want, smell goods, deodorants, come on, fragrances. That's what they do, man. They help today's man stay groomed, you know what I mean, in these important times when you want to stay groomed. So before she come play on the field, make sure you keep the grass cut with Manscape. You know the vibes with that. So listen, man. Listen. I don't know what goes through the thoughts and minds of national media, and now it's even spilling down to our own media. In the most recent Jalen Hurts, I guess presser or whatever, he addressed the media, he talked to the media. I think it might have been Jeff McClain, correct me if I'm wrong. I like Jeff McClain. You know what I mean? People are saying this is a trend of his. I haven't really seen it, but he asked Jalen Hurts something on the lines of, and I paraphrase or I quote, he's like, this is a big moment. Something like, how did you feel in your first playoff game in high school? You know what I mean? So it's like, Jalen Hurts is just like,
Next question.
huh? You know what I mean? He's like, what? It just doesn't even make sense that, the national media and our media now like to discredit the accomplishments this young man made in college. You don't have to go all the way back to high school. I don't remember anything about that place. You know what I mean? Not to dump on the Philadelphia school system. I don't remember none of that stuff. Let's just be for real here. Now, playing football might be different. I remember that aspect of it, but come on, I don't remember how I felt. Your emotions, not even to get too deep into it. It just don't make sense to ask a question like that, man. I kind of get the correlation or the connection that you're trying to draw. This is a guy who was a Heisman finalist. This is a guy who had one of the best seasons in Oklahoma University history as a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who had the stretch that he went on to get in the playoffs the last couple of games is more important than anything he ever did in high school. You know what I mean? He's done great things at the pro level. So what does that have to do with where we're at right now? It just don't make no sense, man. You know what I mean? I think the media only likes to bring up college when they talk about him getting benched for a guy that he's now better than. I feel like the bigger story out of all of this is that, Jalen Hurts is the youngest quarterback going into this year's playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. That should be the biggest story because you got guys like Derek Carr who've been in the league 8 years and this is his first time in the playoffs. Let's talk about that.
Where are we getting at with this?
Let's talk about the stuff that matter, man. So let's get out of the mindset of these out of the crazy questions, man. Nobody got time for none of that, man. We need to be talking about the matchup, the task at hand this week. That's the bottom line. You know, the Philadelphia Eagles, they do come out and do a really, really nice gesture. This is why I love being a part of this franchise, man. You know, Steven Nelson was a healthy scratch for the Week 18 matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. So was a lot of people. You know what I mean? If we call him a spade. Steven Nelson was a healthy scratch. That game would have put him over the 90% snaps needed to get a $375,000 bonus. So what did the front office and Jeff Lurie and them dudes do? Hey, since you're a healthy scratch, we're going to give it to you anyway. And that's a stand-up move right there. I think Steven Nelson's, you know, his what he's brought to the table is going a little under the radar. People say, oh, Steven Nelson this, Steven Nelson that. Steven Nelson is being told to give up 7 yards of cushion. Steven Nelson is not getting burnt up and down the field like we're accustomed to. Let's call a spade a spade. Steven Nelson is not getting burnt up and down the field like Jalen Mills and Rasul Douglas and them guys would do. You know what I'm saying? Steven Nelson is actually helping to eliminate the big play. And he's staying healthy. You know what I mean? I like Steven Nelson, man. I like what he brings as a CB2. He's a perfect complement to Darius Slay, for real. You know what I mean? I just think that, you know, with Steven Nelson, you know, you might gotta if you got one safety out there playing deep, he would probably have to help a little more to Steven Nelson's side than he would have to do to Darius Slay. But Steven Nelson is not a slouch. Steven Nelson is not a slouch at all. I think that this secondary would have been much improved if you had just Steven Nelson and Avonte Maddox for real. But Darius Slay is undoubtedly the best cornerback on his roster, but Steven Nelson is the perfect complement. You know what I mean? Now you can throw Maddox. Steven Nelson is part of the grand scheme. If Steven Nelson missed 5 games, we would know it. Put it like that. We definitely would know it.
Next question.
You know, I want to talk about the offensive line for a second. You know, I didn't really add this into the keys to victory yesterday, but I want to point this out about our offensive line. It's a different offensive line going into this game. We got to understand that as well. You know what I mean? This was one of Dillard's worst games, and he actually started in this game. Barrett was coming off the edge like a madman. Jalen Hurts had free rusher after free rusher after free rusher on him. Until we understood that we can't block this one guy, we should run the ball. Use our running game against their aggressiveness. That's how you debunk a blitz. You know what I mean? But I say that to say this. Mailata wasn't around that game, and I believe Lane Johnson wasn't around that game. Lane Johnson is back. Jordan Mailata is back. This is a very, very different scenario that we're walking into right here. We will be able to account for the free rusher. We will be able to run the ball almost at will. If you watch the beginning of this video where it shows how we can run the ball and do what we want to do to a team like this for real. I will not be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles wins this game. Now, we shouldn't be the favorite. Clear, got it. We should not be the favorite. If you got to rank all the quarterbacks in the postseason right now, you got to probably rank Jalen Hurts last. The youngest, no experience, you know what I mean? Don't have the huge stats like the rest of those guys, but what he got, you cannot teach. I'm telling you, what he got, you can't teach, and it's going to pose a major threat, and he seems to be already locked in. I just can't wait for this game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.